Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this one. This is my Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol full bottom preview, bottom predictions for the full card, and this is building up to the best fight in boxing, the best matchup in boxing at the moment. But we will get on to that main event. But we will start off with the full card predictions, starting off then with the WBC World Female Featherweight title, Nicholson versus Chapman. The fight has been torn for quite a few months now, and it's now been made, which is good to see. And we is good to see the girls as well, the women that the chance to fight in Saudi as well. They'll be getting paid well as well. They'll be getting paid well to fight in Saudi as well. This is where, of course, the card is at. It's in Saudi Arabia. So Nicholson, 11 wins, the defending WBC World Female Featherweight Champion, up against the mandatory challenger Chapman, 9 wins, 0 defeats. So that tells you the story. They are both, for me, at the same level. I think both at the same level for me. It will be one of them pit and fights. I think it will be a pit and fight for me between the two of them. I think it's going to be very, very close on the scorecard as well, because I do think both of them are at the same level. But Nicholson may be slightly better because, see, it's the champion and see won a vacant belt. But you can't discount Chapman, in my opinion. It's a hard one. It's hard. This card is absolutely. I can't believe people are mourning about this card, but I'll get to that in the end. Oh, it's close. It is close, isn't it? It's gonna be more. It's obviously gonna be more of a bottom match, isn't it? Who's gonna utilise their jobs more? Who's gonna utilise their movement and their defence as well? I've gone for Chapman. I'm going to edge towards Chapman to become WBC World Female Featherweight Champion. And again, this is a Queensbury versus Matchroom fight. Obviously, Nicholson on the Matchroom, Chapman over Queensbury. And obviously, so far, in most of the fights, so far that we had the Queensbury versus Matchroom, we saw the Queensbury versus Matchroom 5v5, where it just ended in an absolute whitewash defeat for Matchroom. I'm not basing it on that. I think Chapman's not a huge chance. I think he has a huge chance as well. But Nicholson, I think he'll start off the favourite, but I'm going to edge towards Chapman to win on points. I'm going to go for Chapman to win on points for me. Up next, Ben Whittaker, setting a record for Ben Whittaker, of course, being at the Olympics as well, has Ben Whittaker, an upcoming special talent, as long as he's not being arrogant, as long as he's not doing messing about in the win, he is a special talent. He takes on Tamwin, who's got 23 wins, 6 defeats. But Tamwin coming on the back of a good performance to be proud of against Yinden Arthur in a split decision defeat to Yinden Arthur. And I think Tamwin was quite unlucky in that fight, possibly not to be favoured the decision. Albeit you can say it was a well off at Yinden Arthur, but it was a well off at Yinden Arthur, but he is a good. Yinden Arthur's a good fighter, isn't he? He's a good boxer, Yinden Arthur. And this is a good matchup. This is a good matchup for me. It's now the step up we all wanted to see. Ben Whittaker take. Even Cameron, he's going to win it. He will win it to Ben Whittaker as well. He will win it to him. This is what we wanted to see. Ben Whittaker in with them opponents who will win it to him. Let's see how Ben Whittaker copes when his opponent puts it on him. And hopefully Ben Whittaker is not doing any of this messing around in the win, showboating and all that. I know people like to see that and it's quite entertaining. But this is a sport where that seriously injured and seriously hurt, or even worse. And you got Ben Whittaker, in my opinion, who's been disrespecting his previous opponents so far in the win. I'm not doubting his boxing ability. I think his boxing ability is quality, and he is a special time, Ben Whittaker. But it's not for me. This disrespecting and showboating for me. Ben Whittaker is the favourite in this fight. I don't think Ben Whittaker will knock Liam Cameron out, though. I think Liam Cameron's going to win it to him. But I think Ben Whittaker will do more. I think he will just do more in the fight, Ben Whittaker. And I'm going to go for Ben Whittaker to... I think Ben Whittaker's got good movement as well. He's got better movement than Liam Cameron. I think Liam Cameron will definitely win a couple of rounds. I think it'll be Whittaker's toughest test so far. But I do think Ben Whittaker will win more of the rounds for me. And I'm going to go for Ben Whittaker to win on points. Up next then, Opetaia versus Massey for the IBF World Cruiserweight title. Opetaia 25-0. Massey 22 wins, 2 defeats. This is obviously a matchroom versus boxer fight, you could say. And Massey, fair play to him. For getting this title shot. He shows he doesn't duck anyone. Of course he doesn't, because he's been in with Joseph Parker, hasn't he? And he put in a good performance against Joseph Parker as well, albeit it was a way off it. Joseph Parker, it wasn't the Joseph Parker we're seeing now. He's going to be a tough opponent for Opetaia. It will make it as tough as possible for Opetaia, Massey. I think it'll be similar to the Breeders fight for me, for Opetaia, where that was Breeders did make it tough for him, but obviously Opetaia won. Obviously, majority of the rounds, and Breeders only won the final 3 rounds. He just needs to be careful of Opetaia, because that could happen to him against Massey. And Massey defeated Isaac Chamberlain as well. Quite comfortably, in my opinion, defeated Isaac Chamberlain. Impressive performance from him. And I think everyone's happy, aren't they? Everyone is happy for Massey for getting this opportunity, especially to fight in Saudi as well, and for the money as well. Obviously, I think Opetaia does win this fight. I think Opetaia stops Massey. It won't be easy for him, though. But I think Opetaia will catch Massey. I think he'll catch him 1. I think he'll catch him in the final 3 rounds. That's where I can see the stoppage happening. I'm going to go for Opetaia to get a KO stoppage in the 10th round. Opetaia sits. He's the best in cruiserweight in the world for a reason as well. He can be brutal as well. He can brutally stop his opponents as well, Opetaia. And it would be interesting to see him in the heavyweight division, Opetaia, at some point in his career as well. But obviously, Opetaia wants to be undisputed at cruiserweight, decide as on Usid. Obviously, there were talks between them and Crispin Smith, but Crispin Smith don't want to fight going to fight Gilberto Cerdo Ramirez. For me, it doesn't matter. Jai Opetaia beats. But I think Ramirez would be more of an interesting fight for Opetaia. But I think Opetaia absolutely dismantles and demolishes Chris Smith for me. Fair play to Chris Smith, but I don't really rate Chris Smith as the world champion. I really don't. He's overachieved. Fair play to Chris Smith, but for me, I actually think Ben Smith will actually get beat in that fight against Ramirez as well, in my opinion. But that's what could be next if Opetaia wins. So I'm going to go for Opetaia to stop Massey in the 10th round. I think that's where Massey will tire out and then Opetaia will tax him, in my opinion. Up next then is the most anticipated rematch in the heavyweight division for the British heavyweight title. Wardley versus Fraser Clarke. Wardley 17 wins, 0 defeats and a 1 draw. Fraser Clarke 8 wins, 0 defeats and a 1 draw. Obviously the draw for both fighters was in that first fight between the two of them. Which you have to say Fraser Clarke was probably unlucky not to be favoured the decision. Fraser Clarke's best performance I've seen him in. It was Fraser Clarke's best performance for me. And it's going to be brutal again. It's going to be brutal as the first fight for me. I think it's going to be brutal as the first fight. And Fraser Clarke has came through obviously the Olympic way, so he's under more pressure to win. Because you would expect someone who's came through from the Olympics to win the fight. He was under pressure in the first fight as well, Fraser Clarke, and unlucky not to get the decision. Wardley came through a more different way to Fraser Clarke. He's came through obviously like the small homes. Came through the small home ways, hasn't he? As Wardley. Wardley has done better than Fraser Clarke so far in terms of their bottom careers. And Wardley, for me, I think Wardley's at hooping level now. I really do. I think he's at hooping level now. I don't think he's at British level. But if Fraser Clarke was to win, then he can move himself up to hooping level. Fraser Clarke. And people might go for a stoppage in this fight. I think it'd be the same as the first fight. I think it would go all the way to points. Because Wardley, his face was a mess, wasn't it, in the first fight? His face was a mess. Blood all over him. Blood all over his nose as well. But Wardley will keep on going, and for me, Fraser Clarke will keep on going as well. He'll get back up if he gets knocked down, and he'll keep on going. But from that fight, I was really impressed by Fraser Clarke. I really was. More impressed by Fraser Clarke than Wardley for me. And Fraser Clarke probably knows if he isn't go anywhere in his professional boxing career, he knows he needs to win this fight. For me. And again, it's an opportunity for all these fighters that are on this card to impress the man Winside, Turkey at Winside as well. And that's what Fraser Clarke will be wanting to do. He'll be wanting to impress and get more fights on this Saudi card as well. But as for my prediction, again, it's a tough one. I won't be shocked with either result. But I am going to go for Fraser Clarke win on points. I just think Fraser Clarke, I feel like Fraser Clarke could be now the vulnerability for Wardley. I think Fraser Clarke, someone who will hit back at Wardley as well, as we saw in the first fight. I'm going to go for Fraser Clarke to win on points. in this rematch and for Wardley. If it ends in the draw, then I won't be shocked by. Then we could see a 30. And how good would that be? But yeah, I'm going to go for Fraser Clarke to win it on points. Up next, we see the return of Chris Eubank Jr. After 1 year out since his career best performance than Stephen Smith in that rematch court, demolition job he did on Stephen Smith. Chris Eubank Jr., 33 wins, 3 defeats. He takes on, for me, probably a 2-0 fight, a 2-0 opponent in Tamil as Serameta. 25 wins, 2 defeats, 2 draws. Serameta's been in with the heights of courts, then he had the opt-in of courts. He was a tough operator in the past, Serameta, but Chris Eubank Jr. will be wanting to make a statement here with his return to the win after 1 year out. Obviously, Chris Eubank Jr., we know he can play hide and seek with himself about his hit yet, and wanting to fight for world titles, which still frustrates me why he has not fought for a world title yet, Chris Eubank Jr. Hopefully he's changed now, he's a changed man, and he fights for the world titles. I think that I mentioned in my Q&A, didn't I? I want him against Canelo Alvarez. And I do. I think people will be writing Eubank Jr. off in that fight too easy against Canelo Alvarez because Canelo's past his prime, and who knows, Eubank Jr. on the ball mat actually has a better chance of beating Canelo. If it's not ball mat, then yeah, he has no chance for me of beating Canelo Alvarez. Obviously, Canelo would be favourite in that fight, and Eubank is wanting to fight him in May next year. Hopefully in the UK, that we won't be able to see, especially Canelo Alvarez in the UK as well. I'm not interested in Chris Eubank Jr. fighting BJ Saunders, who's not been in the win for more than 2 years now. And I'm not interested in this fancy fight with Conor Benn. Obviously it will happen because of the nostalgia and the father's rivalry, but again, we have weight divisions for a reason. Conor Benn is better at 147. He's a 147 fighter, Conor Benn. Chris Eubank Jr. is a 160, 168 fighter. I'm not interested in Eubank versus Terence Crawford. Again, weight divisions for a reason. But I am interested in Chris Eubank Jr. against Canelo Alvarez or world title fight. But for me, Chris Eubank Jr. in this fight, he should be knocking this opponent out, in my opinion, and stopping this opponent, in my opinion. And again, he needs to try and make a statement as well. But I think he'll be okay because I think Turkey will like Chris Eubank Jr. I think because let's be real, Chris Eubank Jr. for me, as much as I have given him criticism, he speaks really well. He's a good talker. He speaks really well. He's a showman, isn't he? He is a showman. He knows how to promote his fights. He knows how to sell his fights. He knows how to rattle his opponents in the build-up to the fight as well. That's what Chris Eubank Jr. is good at. That's what he is good at. And he is a pay-per-view star, in my eyes. He really is. People love to talk about him. But as for my prediction for this fight, I expect Chris Eubank Jr. to knock out and stop Serameta in the 6th round. I'm going to go for a 6th round KO / stoppage win for Chris Eubank Jr. And obviously Eddie Hearn will be ringside as well. And Eddie Hearn's going to throw the narrative that he'll be in his ear to try and make the Conor Benn fight afterwards. So we know what's going to happen with that. So that is my prediction for that. And on to the main event. Now finally on to the main event. The best fight in boxing for me. Two undefeated light heavyweight fighters. Artur Beterbiev, who has been out with an injury. He's not been boxing since jump start of the year in that demolition job on Tom Smith. he's up against Dmitry Bivol, who was, again, Bivol was knocked out. Obviously, he defeated Nandanathi, then he defeated Maya Senad as well. Well, he KO'd and stopped Maya Senad, didn't he? Dmitry Bivol. And I think that's a good sign for Bivol, isn't it? That he can stop people. He can KO and stop his opponents as well. It's a class of styles, isn't it? Beterbiev, come forward fighter. I don't. All Beterbiev's wins have been by KO, hasn't it? Have been by KO, stoppage. He is one brutal man. I wouldn't want to be in the win with him. He is quite scary as well. The way he does dismantle his opponents as well. Dmitry Bivol, I think Bivol has the better boxing IQ than Beterbiev. Artur Beterbiev is obviously he's the better punter. That's the more punching power as well. It's all about can Artur Beterbiev cut off the win, and stop Dmitry Bivol from using his feet and his movement. That's the way Artur Beterbiev wins the fight for me. When he cuts off the win and he doesn't allow Bivol to move around the win. And if Beterbiev has Bivol in the corner, then there's only one winner, and Artur Beterbiev would win for me. But Dmitry Bivol is one incredible boxer. He's in that eyes on the Usyk category for me, Dmitry Bivol. Quite similar to Usyk as well. The way he uses his movement, his jab as well. He's got a good jab as well. He's got good combinations as well Bivol. Good movement as well. Good feet movement. Great boxing IQ as well. I make Bivol favourite for me in this fight. I do make Dmitry Bivol favourite just because of only one thing, the activeness for me. And Beterbiev obviously coming on the back of an injury as well. How will that play a part, especially if Bivol didn't survive Beterbiev's onslaught for the first 6 rounds as well? Because Beterbiev will keep on coming forward. I can only think of once Beterbiev keeps on coming forward, he will eventually start tiring out. He can't allow Bivol to utilise his movement, because if Bivol is allowed to utilise his movement, it's going to tire Beterbiev out, in my opinion. And I wouldn't be shocked if Bivol even stopped Beterbiev yet on. I wouldn't be shocked. But I think Dmitry Bivol will box his way. As for my prediction, I think Dmitry Bivol will box his way to a points win, in my opinion. It'll be close, but I think if it does the points, then Bivol wins for me. If there is a KO stoppage, then it will come from Beterbiev, in my opinion. So yeah, quite similar to Tyson Fury, as Artur said. Quite similar to that, where Fury's way of winning against Usyk is to KO and stop him. Same with Beterbiev. Beterbiev's only way of winning is by stopping Bivol. Don't get me wrong, I think Beterbiev can definitely do all 12 rounds and still win rounds, Beterbiev. But I think Bivol will have more of a chance of winning on points than Beterbiev for me. But what a matchup. It's split opinion, hasn't it? But people don't for Beterbiev to win by KO stoppers, which is a fair prediction, isn't it? It is a fair prediction because they are two incredible fighters, two incredible boxers as well. Dmitry Bivol has always been, for me, in the top 5 pound fighters for me as well. Obviously, him defeating Canelo Alvarez before was a natural light heavyweight, wasn't he? And Canelo Alvarez, for me, wasn't the right weight for him, the light heavyweight for me. There's been talk of a rematch between Bivol and Canelo Alvarez after this. For me, Bivol will win the rematch again, for me. Weight divisions then, for a reason. Canelo has found his match in terms of weight division. Canelo can only fight at super middleweight for me. In my opinion, unless Dmitry Bivol wants to step down to super middleweight. But I doubt he will. But there's also Beterbiev in the weight and for the winner of this fight as well. So that would be an interesting fight as well, Beterbiev. But I am going for Dmitry Bivol to win on points. I just think Dmitry Bivol will outbox Artur Beterbiev with his movement, his jabs, and his boxing IQ, in my opinion. Because his boxing IQ is unreal for Dmitry Bivol. People will say, oh, it's boring to watch, but it's not exactly boring. Dmitry Bivol is just a really, really elite boxer. Simple as that. Artur Beterbiev, he's a brilliant boxer as well. He's a brilliant boxer, but he's a brilliant fighter, isn't he? He's more of a fighter than a boxer. But I don't for Dmitry Bivol to win on points. And finally, I'm going to end up on a bit of a rant, because I've seen people moaning about this card, saying this card ain't done. I understand. For me, I understand why they can be frustrated with some of the matchups. The only matchups for me that are probably one-sided, for me, is obviously Chris Eubank Jr. 7 meter. You expect Eubank to win, so that's a one-way traffic fight. And as much as Massey will make it tougher off Opetaia, again, everyone expects Opetaia to win that fight, so that's 2. But I don't think that's a bad fight at all, because I think Massey can make it really tough for Opetaia. And yeah, that's pretty much it, in my opinion. For me, I don't know what they're on about. I actually think Eubank 7 meter is the only one-way traffic fight for me. Everything else is 50-50 fights. You know what? I'm going to sell this card now. We got the best fight in boxing. Unbelievable elite matchup. Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol for the undisputed light heavyweight titles. You got Chris Eubank Jr., a showman. Probably the elite showman of boxing, isn't he, Chris Eubank Jr.? You got him on the card. You got the most anticipated rematch in the heavyweight division between Clarke and Wardley. All British heavyweight ducks up for the British heavyweight title. You got Opetaia again on the card in quite a tough matchup against a tough operator against Chapman for the IBF World Cruiserweight title. You got another showman in Whittaker against a live one in Cameron. And finally, just to start off the card, he got 2 females, which is really good to see. Fight out for the WBC female featherweight title, and we got again another Queensbury versus Matchroom matchup. Nicholson defending the title, then Chapman in a true 50-50. In a true 50-50 fight, just like the majority of these fights. What is everyone mourning about? So I'm going to leave it there. Massive appreciation to everyone tuning in. And feel free to leave your predictions for all the fights down below in the comments. And what a card we've got on our hands. And what a main event. The best fight in boxing. The best matchup in boxing. The best style matchup in boxing. Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol for the undisputed light heavyweight titles. Feel free to leave your predictions for all the fights on the card down below. take care, stay safe, see you later, and who you got winning out of Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry.